Hello, light workers, you beautiful people. How are you today? Today we're talking about two key things. One is about cleansing, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And the other is about how to open yourself up to information from the other side. So, I'll see you in the next bit. It's been a funny old year, hasn't it? When I say year, I mean the last 12 months. They've been a bit strange, haven't they? And many of us, all of us probably who are watching this, have had a year in which we've had to kind of educate ourselves as to what's happening, to find out what's happening, to keep abreast of what's happening, and to kind of readjust to what's happening. And it hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy for anybody. And it's worse for those who are awake. It's worse for those who are awake because it's like, imagine a bus that's driving toward a cliff edge and you're the only one with the blind up on the bus. Everybody else is having a fun time. Nobody cares. And you're watching going, oh, for goodness sake, can't you see that? There's a cliff edge coming up. And that's kind of where we've been. Because we haven't known where this was going to end up. It's all very, very kind of out of our hands. Very much so. And so if you have been like me, what you have probably done is to throw yourself deeply into keeping updated with what's happening. And it's very easy to do that because there is so much information now. And I'm talking about in the alternative world, there is such an abundance of information that it's impossible for you to keep up with it. It's impossible for me just to keep up with the groups that I'm involved with. I can't read all that information. There's too much information. But I've been giving it a bloody good go. And I have been spending such a lot of time looking at these things, keeping myself up to date, and I've been on the roller coaster of, hey, good news, bad news, good news, bad news, good news, bad news, good news, bad news. And do you know what? I am sick to death of it. I'm absolutely sick to death of it. I give up. I'm giving up. But what do I mean by that? I'm giving up on tantalizing myself and torturing myself, because that's what I've really been doing. How have I been doing it? Through this. That's what I've been doing. I've been torturing myself and tantalizing myself with this because it's easy and because it's addictive. I know it's addictive. I know. And you can do this. This is an incredible little test, okay? Maybe you've already done it. But what I've decided to do is, and I started last week, is to have time away from my phone. To have time away, because I was catching myself a while back holding my phone wherever I walked. I had my phone in my hand, and I know why, because my mind was saying maybe there's some good information going to come through any moment. And so I understand why. So I forgive myself. But catching myself, carrying my phone everywhere, it was really pissing me off. I was getting really pissed off with myself, saying, what the hell? What? Do you think, you're going to miss something in the 3 minutes that you're walking from the kitchen into the living room? Do you think something's going to come through that's vitally important for your life and your well-being? And so I put my phone down. I started putting my phone down. And where I would normally have my phone, I wasn't. And I noticed that every 20, 30 seconds, my mind would go, oh, the phone, oh, the phone, oh, the phone. And I would have this little jumpy feeling inside of my phone, oh, my phone, oh, my phone. Now that's addiction. That is addiction. The phones have been designed in a fabulous way to addict people. All of the media is designed to addict people because you're constantly getting updates and little notifications and the bells and the whistles and the, look at me. And it's all addictive, right? But we know this. I know this now. And I've known it for years. But it's very easy to excuse yourself. I was excusing myself saying, look, I need to be up to date. I make videos. I need to be up to date with what's happening. And what I realize is that, no, I do not need to be up to date. I could update myself once a week, and that would be enough. I don't need to be updated live. And this is what's happening is I was being updated. I'm saying we because I'm sure that other people who can resonate with this. I was being updated live, and I was forfeiting my life to be live streaming the updates. That's not what life's about. That is not what life's about. So I decided. It's been building up, but I've decided that it's time for a cleanse. I need a cleanse. Now, I've been doing a physical cleanse for a good while now. Since just before, it was strange, just before all of this happened, I was taken down a road of, right, it's time to fix yourself. And I fixed myself physically through food choices. Really, that's where my problem was, that I had severe reactions to foods that I didn't realize that were making me very, very without energy, looking like shit. And I resolved that with food. And I still stick rigidly to that. I was also taken down the line of exercising. Now, I've always exercised all of my life, but not quite like I've been exercising during this period. Almost as if it's absolutely vital that I am on top form. That's what the feeling I get is I have to be, well, in fact, that's what I've been told as well. I have to be on top form because when you're physically fit, you are mentally fit. When you are physically well, you think clearly. And now's the time to think clearly, very clearly. And so I've also been going down a spiritual road as well for a long time. But what I'm aware of is that this was starting to take me away from that higher spiritual vibration. All of those downs, the ups are great, but it's an attachment, isn't it? You become attached to going up. You want an up. That's what the addiction's about. I want to feel good. I want to feel good. I want to feel good. But to feel good, there's a price because you're going to feel bad as well. And so it's kind of like a false sense of good feeling. It's like buying a car, isn't it? You buy a car and you feel fantastic, and then 2 days later you don't even see the car anymore. And it's the same with these feel good that only last as long as the next video, the next information. And so it's a false sense of spirituality. It's kind of what I'm coming to terms with now. We do need to keep up to date. We do, but we don't need to keep up to date live streaming our lives. Yes, we need to know, but normally when bad stuff happens, people tell me, and when good stuff happens, people tell me. So I tend to be updated anyway. Certainly in the group that we have, the Telegram group, which the if you want to join the Telegram group, the invitation's just in the information of the video. Come and join us. It's a beautiful group. People update the good news, and because it's a good news group, then yes, only good news comes through, and that's great. That's nice. So, what things am I doing now? Well, I am today. In fact, I'm starting my fasting. So every month now, I fast for 2 days, and so does Cynthia. So it starts on a Sunday. So maybe the last thing that I'll eat is at 9 o'clock at night, and then a full Monday without eating, and a full Tuesday without eating, and then on a Wednesday we start eating at lunchtime, 2 o'clock. So, what's the point of fasting? You can look up the information about fasting. Fasting is fabulous, and you know it's been a fundamental part of all spirituality for a long time. Fasting. You know, look at the Muslims. They do their intermittent fasting once a year. You know, in the Catholic faith, coming up to Easter for Lent or something like that, they would start reducing things, and people would do fasts and all kinds of stuff. It's been around. You know, Jesus was 40 years, and 40 years that would be too much. 40 days in the wilderness. Was it 40 or 30 days? 40 days, I think. Fasting. Okay, so why do people fast? Because it actually increases your spirituality. It cleanses your body. It gives your body the chance to get the brush out and start sweeping, because when you eat, 80% of your body energy has to go toward digesting that food and doing it and moving it around. When you don't eat, your body goes, whoa, I've got all this energy. What am I going to do? I'm going to start to clean. And when we clean, then we function better. All of the sparks fly better. Our spark plugs shoot sparks much better, and therefore we function better, and therefore we have better mental function. We have better capacity to be able to reach higher levels of spirituality. So it's all part of the grand scheme. So that's why I've intermittent fasted for the last 3 years. And if you're interested in intermittent fasting, you should look at it. It's fabulous. It really does change your life. What have I noticed with fasting? I've noticed that fasting actually increases the energy level that I have. Now, that might seem like that you know, it's like that doesn't make much sense, that you're not eating and yet you've got more energy. Trust me, it is the case. Yes, when you're not accustomed to it at the beginning, you go into withdrawal. You withdraw from all of the stuff that you're addicted to. You know, withdrawal from sugar, from salt, from cheese, from gluten, from whatever. And what happens is the withdrawal that we get tends to be from the bad food that are causing us damage. And it creates an addiction. You know how addiction's created with food. You eat food, right? Food can stimulate things. Okay, so you get this stimulation. But quite often when you eat a food that you're allergic to, your body then has to release endorphins to stop you from being hurt, to stop you from feeling the hurt. And so what happens is your body starts linking, your mind starts linking this food with feel good, because your body's giving you endorphins because you're in danger, you're being damaged by the food. But then we become addicted to that food because we want that endorphin high. So we continue to eat it, and it makes us worse, and we have to have more endorphins, and it's just awful downward spiral. That's what a lot of food addiction is about, is that it's really bad for you. And that's why you feel good when you eat it. Bizarre, isn't it? So, fasting's a great thing to do. Don't do it if it's not right for you, and I would always take some advice on it. And I'm saying that so I don't get into trouble. But also, you know, don't just do it because everybody else does it. Look into it. Look at the upsides, the downsides, and everything. But certainly, I've done intermittent fasting for 3 years, and it has improved my life dramatically, along with a change of what I eat. You have to change what you eat as well. And also the fasting, I've done 2 days. I do 2 days now, and that's fine for me. I've done up to 5 days of fasting, and that was really interesting, and it was not hard. When I started fasting, I used to think that going 24 hours without food was unholily bad, that it was terrible. I'd never in my life gone for more than 12 hours without food. So the idea of spending, you know, even the idea of spending like a week without eating was anathema to me. But then you realize that actually you're doing yourself a big favor when you do it. You're doing your body a big favor. Your body's never had the chance to cleanse like it does when you fast. So anyway, it's something to think about. That's where I am at the moment. But I'm also in a cleanse mentally. I've decided that I need to cleanse myself spiritually. And that means I need a break from all of this. I need a break from all of this negativity and all of this horribleness and all of the positivity as well, if you know what I mean. It's kind of like this, it's like chewing gum for the spirit, isn't it? Yum, yum, yum. Yeah, and I need a break from that. So what am I doing? What have I decided? Well, do you know how much time I've been spending on my phone looking at information? A god unholy amount of time I've been on my phone. So what I thought was, look, let's do something. What can I do that will improve me? And this brings me to the second point, which is Liz asked, we were talking about channeling and you know, having this contact with the beyond. And Liz said, you know, I would really like that, but obviously it's not for everybody. Not everybody's a channeler. I mean, you know, that would be crazy if everybody, it would be too much information, wouldn't it? If everybody was channeling. But I think that we can all channel. We can all channel. So what have I done? Well, I have now. There's an interesting site called Udemy. Udemy, okay? I think that's how you pronounce it, Udemy. And what they do is they sell mini courses. They sell little courses that people have put together, and there's something for everybody there. But I've been looking at the spiritual courses. Now, what I've been called to do, it's something that I've noticed. This cleanse, I've been leading up to this. I've been having lots of messages. The guys upstairs kept telling me, be careful what you look at. Stop overloading yourself with information. And so I've been drawn to doing three things. The tarot cards. Right? I've always loved the tarot cards, but actually knowing how to read the tarot cards without having to pick up a book and look at the meaning is a challenge. There's a lot to them. But there's a beautiful course that I've downloaded on Udemy, which is to learn how to read the tarot cards. And there's a lady from Australia who's teaching it. And it's very easy to follow, and I'm enjoying it, and I'm going to see it through. And I'm going to be able to then use the tarot cards. What are the tarot cards? They're just a communication device between here and there. That's all. Maybe they're connecting with the collective unconscious, and maybe they're connecting with the beings that are here to help. But remember, if you're doing it for the highest good, always, everything that you do when you're connecting to the other side is for the highest good of all concerned. And if you're worried about, am I going to connect to anything negative? Then you always start with that intention. This is for the highest good of all concerned. When you use that intention, nothing bad can come through. That's just the way I see it. That's the way I feel it, okay? So, tarot cards. So that's one thing that I've started. And would you believe I use my phone to do it? Because you can get your Udemy on your phone and you start looking at your courses. Now, what that's done for me is that's taken me away from using my phone to upset myself. And now I'm using my phone to increase my spirituality. Okay, because I do believe that if you start using the tarot cards for yourself and for other people, then you are going to increase the link spiritually. The other one that I'm called to do is remote viewing. So, what have I done? I've downloaded another course from Udemy on remote viewing. Remote viewing is being able to go to any other place and get information from there. And it can be in the past, the future, the present, anything. It's fascinating. The American military started using remote viewing as part of their military campaigns. And they had a system that was developed, which is this course. And basically anybody can do it. Obviously, if you have a bent toward that kind of thing, you can be even better at it. But it's a course that is there to teach anybody. So I'm doing that on my phone as well. And then finally, what I've got is, thanks to Anna, or hello Anna, I'm going to say hola Anna because Anna's Spanish, but she speaks English perfectly. Anna, when we went round there the other day, she showed me a book which teaches you how to connect to the Akashic records. Now, for anybody who doesn't know what the Akashic Records are, in a nutshell, it's the information from the past, present and future of everything that has ever been. Okay? And you can connect with the Akashic Records and use the wisdom of the Akashic Records to guide you, and for other people as well. And so I have found a book, the same book that Anna has, on Audible, and now I'm listening to how to access the Akashic Records. So they're the three things that I've been kind of called to, and they've come to me, that I'm using now to increase my spirituality, to increase the way that I am able to access information beyond this information, and also another way of stopping myself from utilizing my time in a very, very unhelpful way, in an inefficient way, which is just passively. Remember, there are two ways of using the phone, passively or actively. Flipping through feeds is passive, even though you're doing that. There's an active element to it, which is that, but you're just flipping through feeds. You have no control over what's going to come up next. You choosing to increase your information, to increase your knowledge, is active. This is active spirituality, let's call it that. And I've just given you 3 examples. There are tons and tons of things that you could do to improve yourself, to improve your spirituality, and to improve your connection to the beyond. Yeah? So I'll keep you posted on how I go, and maybe in the future, when I've got the tarot card sorted out, we can do a few tarot readings with together, like about the future, what's the next 6 months hold and things like that, and we can do a tarot reading and see how well I can do it. Okay, so that's the message for today. So probably in the forthcoming messages, you're not going to hear me much talking about what's happening. If I'm aware of good news, I'll share that, but it'll be more focused on spirituality going forward for at least for a while, whilst I cleanse. And if you want to join me, feel free to do that as well. That would be lovely, and we could talk about it on the Telegram chat. Okay. Have a lovely week, and I'll see you all on Friday. Take care.